we look at all different kinds of models as it relates to free to the consumer. Certainly we would look at different kinds of models, but there will always be free music on MySpace. If you remember where we came from, the majority of the streaming was around indie bands. And indie bands have the ability to upload tons of tracks to their pages, and we'll continue to look at those kind of models. But ultimately, the record labels control those rights, and if they decide that that's not a business they want to be in, certainly we could look to morph that kind of stuff. But remember that the music experience on MySpace isn't predicated upon just free streaming. It was a huge music site beforehand where artists managed their presence on the internet. And that's a tremendous amount of our traffic. It still is.
I think there's also two ways that at least I look at the music deal. One is that we work with artists to help them monetize their behavior and their profiles on MySpace. Right? So the record labels can benefit when we close huge ad deals against a certain artist, and those dollars can hopefully flow down to the artist.
Yeah.
Right? So on one hand, we want to work with social leaders, creative leaders, we want to give them a path to express themselves on the web and monetize that behavior. Right? The second piece is we pay for content. Right? So in this case, we're paying to stream free music. Right? And in just as many other businesses, they pay for content. We look at the business holistically, we make sure that model works.
Yeah. And I think it's also, while direct sales through us is not a big business. Obviously, iTunes sells the majority of the music on the internet. There is no question that MySpace breaks bands and general awareness for tickets for the entire value chain of music.
Sure.
I wish we could codify that better so that we can explain to all our constituents that we're actually pushing that. And we'll get there at some point. But the convergence of how influential we are on ticket sales or merchandise or digital music is still a little blurry.
Yeah.
There's a post that I wrote, just switching gears here a little bit. There's a post that I wrote a while back that you guys had engaged, or News Corp had engaged Code Advisors, an investment bank, to consider a spinoff of MySpace. And I'm not, whether the spinoff considered or not, I'm sure things are thought about all the time. But in your view, and I'd love a really honest answer here, can MySpace, you talk about the turnaround, you talk about the things you want to do, these grand vision. Is it possible to do that under any corporate parent, let alone News Corp? Or do you guys think that MySpace would be better off maybe as an independent entity? Much like what happened with Skype, for example.
So specific to Code Advisors, they were not shopping for us. We talk to Quincy and those guys all the time in terms of companies that we would like to acquire.
Okay.
I don't believe, I've worked in a couple of different media, corporations before, and they've had their issues. But frankly, News Corp has been so good to us, and people come up to us, don't you want to be outside of News Corp? You can do what you want.
By us, you don't include Owen, of course.
I meant MySpace. And there's just never anything that we have asked for that News Corp has said no to. Honestly, the funding.
That was for the Juju comment.
Yes. I'm a big News Corp has been there to support us. They believe in it. There's been certainly lots of rumors around it, and I pick up the phone, or Mike picks up the phone and calls John or Rupert or Chase and says, is there any truth to this? And they tell us no.
What's it like picking up the phone and calling Rupert?
Well, he usually gets to us first.
Yeah. Hey, Rupert,
Listen, he's up early and he's actively engaged. He's in the offices, he's checking out the mocks, he's looking at the product, he's talking to our team, it's great. But I think overall, as Jason's saying, News Corp is a very entrepreneurial business. Rupert's an entrepreneur at heart. And so although it's a large company, the fact is they want to see us succeed. And we haven't felt impaired at all by them as far as slowing us down.
It is, and I knew Viacom, I knew EchoStar and Dish, I've worked consultants for NBC and others. There's no company like News Corp on the inside. It truly is, because it's Murdoch, a small, big company.
Yeah.
And we've walked into our offices, and Rupert's been sitting there playing with the site. I tell the story where he woke me up at 8 o'clock on a Saturday morning to tell me that the Twitter sync wasn't working fast enough. He really is engaged, and we're in constant dialogue with him.
What time did he call you?
8 a.m. Saturday morning, which who knows where he was at the time. But it's something where we don't feel like they don't get it if we went and asked for something.
Yeah.
And I don't. When people ask us whether we'd spin out, what does spinning out do for us? To get us cash?
Well, the first thing it does is it provides an incentive system for your employees, because they can get stock options.
Sure.
It'll let you hire employees that you otherwise may not be able to hire.
That's a very fair point. That's something that we've talked about.
Yeah, and we recognize that, and I think that's important for us to address one way or another.
Yeah.
And we're looking into ways of doing that. I don't think that requires us to be spun out, frankly. I think there's a lot of other ways we can do that. But beyond that single point of an incentive program that helps our staff get better rewarded for the success of MySpace, there's very few other things that we found have slowed us down because
If you're saying that you're not at all there's no hurdle to your management decision. But let's, and I have no reason to believe
But
otherwise.
that is a fair point. I mean, the reality is when you're looking specifically at an engineering-focused company, while 99.9% of the equity that you ever get never amounts to anything, it is a shot at the dream, and that's something that we need to address, though we do pay on the other side.
Yeah. I mean, even the two acquisitions we've done through our tenure there have gotten done incredibly quick. Like, even with News Corp's process, I mean, it's been very, very efficient for us to get stuff done.
Let's talk about the managing a company together, because a co-president is a unique and interesting thing. And thinking back, just thinking about companies that I know of that have had, of any scale, that have had dual leaders. I know Pixar used to have an office of the president, I think, with 3 people, and Steve was one of them before. Well, that happened with Disney, but you're not going to say that you don't get along or that there's ever fights, but it must be difficult. Like, how do you guys manage it, and is it a long-term, is it possible to do this over the long term?
I think normally it probably doesn't work. The only company that I know in the past that I admired was Terry Semel and Bob Daly at Warner for 25 years were co-presidents. Mike and I did have lots of disagreements when we got there, but it was never personal. And we have split up the company in such a way, but you also have to get your ego out of the situation and say to yourself, like, listen, if someone wants to delve into your other side and they're talented, you don't play, I own this land. It's for the betterment of the company. And once you get over that, it's easier to deal with.
So I think that's a great theory. Is that what's happening? You guys are feeling comfortable with?
Yeah. I mean, it's funny enough, we didn't do it by design, but we all sat together when we first got there, including Owen. And Mike and I stayed in the office together, frankly, because there was just so much to learn and so much going on that we just didn't have time to set up meetings with one another. So it was like by osmosis. And also staying that way allows us to deal with any issue that may come up. Anyone that knows my side of the company is product and programming and marketing and communications, essentially forward-facing stuff. Anyone that knows Mike Jones knows that he's a brilliant product guy. Would I say this is my area and you can't come over to this side because this is what I rule? That would be at the detriment of MySpace and to the benefit of my ego, and that would be a stupid mistake.
So you're both definitely in this for the long haul.
Listen, I'm an entrepreneur, and am I going to be at MySpace in 5 and 10 years? Probably not.
Yeah.
But I think we have a general vision for the company, and we deal in the now. And I think Mike is a great partner. He's also become a good friend. And
okay, but I mean, is there a commitment by both of you to run this company for the long run? That's not a relatively easy question to answer, right?
And we've made a commitment to News Corp to run the company for the long run. We expect that we will, right? At the end of the day, like, we need to do some incredible things in the next year. I think that's actually why the co-president thing works, is because we're able to split up different massive tasks within the business. And we're basically focusing on executing that. And, assuming News Corp will have us, right, we're going to stay heavily engaged.
When we came in, it was literally like, imagine you had to, do college in a week. And look at all the data and all the things that were going on in MySpace in terms of the product roadmap and wanting to be a portal and not mining the kind of data. As a team, it took us about, I'd say, 4 months to get to the bottom of what was going on inside the company. And then,
how would you grade yourself over the last, whatever it's been? What started March of 09, right?
Yeah.
No, yeah, okay, March of 09, so it's been a year.
Yeah, just over a year.
How would you grade yourself and your performance?
listen, I think Mike and I in general are hard on ourselves. I would